It's Valentine's just around the corner. February is the month for appreciating our community. I just love where we live. And the guests we have on today are going to show you more reasons why you should love where we live. You'll enjoy the show today. We're here with Jen Bracy. She's here at Western Oregon University in the Arts and Graphics Department. Welcome, Jen.
Thank you.
And we've known each other since I moved here almost. We're on a committee together. You're the chair, University Community Connections Committee.
That's right.
Huge mouthful.
Yes.
I don't know why we did that. But through that, I found out that you've done a lot for our community.
Well, I've tried.
Yeah. Oh, I know the logo for the food pantry is your work.
Yes, that is correct. That's my work. I've done some volunteer work for with Abby's House and with the food pantry and a number of entities on campus where I myself design the materials. But I also do quite a bit with students when I can, get some real world experience in the classroom, and it makes them feel good to contribute to something in their local community.
Oh, it's going to look good on their Vita or their resume, and that practical experience lets them know, hey, I think I can do this. Yeah. So you had recommended for us on Making Spirits Bright the first year. You were our committee of one on marketing and graphics, and then last year you gave us Kristen McClatchy, and she was great. So I know from her and from others that you're a great mentor too. So
well, thank you for saying so. Yeah, I do think it's important. We're kind of maybe a little bit more isolated than some schools in urban centers, and so making connections with industry is a little bit tougher. And we have so many worthy folks right here in the community and in the immediate region that can benefit a great deal from design, and then we've got these talented design students who are, so it's a win-win when we can get some real clients or community partners in the classroom a little bit.
One of our projects on the UCCC committee was a walking tour.
Oh yeah,
and remember putting that brochure together?
Yeah.
That was a great class project.
That was a really challenging class project, absolutely. And I think one of the things that I'm recognizing again now, working on identity materials for the Monmouth Independence Chamber of Commerce, I'm sure we're getting there, but also the walking tour for WU and some of the other things is our students, many of them don't come from this immediate area, and they haven't spent much time getting to know it. So these projects also serve secondarily to get them out into their own communities, discovering things about Monmouth and Independence and beyond that they themselves didn't even know. And I think, that is only going to help our mission with the University Community Connections Committee, where the students start to feel more connected to the people that live here.
So in this newest project with your class, you have a process.
Yes.
For how you're going to get them to that final logo. The current logo for the chamber is a wagon wheel and a quill pen.
That's right.
Is that what?
Right, that's right.
So we're going to work on updating it. So what's the first thing you do with them?
Well, the first thing is research. So the design process always involves a lot of research. And as I said, in this case, it's even starting ground level, just getting them more familiar with the history of these towns, with what's even, what kind of industry and agriculture is here, getting familiar with the kinds of images and associations and symbols that might be appropriate. So they did a big dive into thinking about this region and all the different things that they might associate with the commerce here and with the history, and kind of creating a rich visual language from which to choose from as they move forward into designing things on their own. Yeah, so the first project after that research was a family of icons, and they'll be using those icons probably in a project that'll come toward the end, a brochure. Some of those icons are on screen now.
Oh, good, yes. So it looks like you chose 4 basic subject matters, history or heritage, landmarks,
outdoors and commerce, right. They had the option to, going beyond, there were some other possible messages like family fun and education and things. I mainly chose those because the way that a lot of the content is broken down for the brochure project that they're going to be doing, it's sort of a general Monmouth Independence visitors brochure, is it's often broken down in those categories. And I thought icons are a great way for them to start really developing their visual language, have some imagery that could possibly work into the logo itself, but of course they could also appear in the brochure and help denote what category of information one is looking at in the brochure to have a little visual element.
So you've got, I noticed one of the things was hops. That makes more sense to us than say fish for outdoors, because, you know, it came about the way you're saying that students aren't too familiar with the area sometimes. I don't think we're much of a fishing area.
Right. I think the bigger region
I should
might
ask
be.
Henry. He would say otherwise, but
yeah. Certainly the you know, the Northwest, the greater Northwest might be associated with fishing and the coast and of course salmon. It's true that hops was a popular image or iconography to work with in the icons, because especially Independence has a really rich history as being a center for hops.
Right.
And of course the younger generation might gravitate toward that because they like the end product. We've got some really good craft beer in this state. The current MICC and Visitor Center logo does tap into history, both in terms of the wagon wheel and the being settled by pioneers near the end of the Oregon Trail, and the quill pen signifying the importance of education in Monmouth. But it does represent a little bit of a kind of a mashup of two things representing the two towns. And what I really hope that my students can do is create some sort of logo, some sort of image for the chamber that maybe more abstractly communicates the idea of these two towns coming together, isn't necessarily made up of something for one and something for other forced together. That's a strategy that does sometimes work, but I think we're ready to move past that for this design.
Yeah, good. I look forward to seeing the end product.
Me too.
You have Kathleen Mason is the executive director, and Adri Clark, who's also a WU employee, is the visitor center representative.
The chamber has a visitor center committee, and Adri Clark chairs that committee. So both of them have been coming to my class.
That's what I wondered. How much influence are they saying, go this way, don't go that way?
Not a lot of influence, but they are enjoying the process of observing the solutions thus far. It's early yet. They've only been a couple of times. But I tell you, it doesn't matter how much I can try to reinforce certain concepts with my students when a real person from the community is there, a real potential client is in the room and says something to the same effect, they really listen. They take very seriously the prospect of working with a real client, and I think it raises their game a little bit. It's fun having them there.
I'm sure. It's where the rubber meets the road. You know, it's happening there. Well, you've been here 12?
This is my 11th year.
11th year. And how many class projects would you say you've done? And have any of them been at this level?
Well, you know, some of the images that we're playing through a few moments ago were some former student projects. I've definitely had my students explore the idea of destination branding for this region. Those projects were largely hypothetical and didn't end up going anywhere as where this one might. But some of the examples of things we have done, students designed originally a logo for the Abby's House Women's Center. That's since been redesigned. It was time for an update, and I did that one. But students worked on a visual identity for the campus garden. Also, the Monmouth Independence Community Foundation, many years ago. Let's see, they worked on some other things for the food pantry for, let's see, the Green Wolf Sustainability Club a number of years ago, and designed materials for recycling and around sustainability, all kinds of things. I can't think of them all at this point.
Good. So are you thinking that this is going to help them in their future endeavors? So
of course. Yeah.
How many of your students that you've had have gone into the field?
Well, I got to tell you, one of the students that I had working on this pretty much the whole term, a kind of a destination branding for Monmouth specifically, campaign or project, right after graduation, she became the sole marketing design person for the city of Vancouver, Washington. Visit Vancouver. Yeah, so her employer is Visit Vancouver, and now for 4 years since she's graduated, I think she's been creating the face of the town of Vancouver. So it was really good training ground for her and what she's
training
doing.
Ground.
Yeah.
Great.
Really proud of her.
Great. And I'm sure you keep in touch with her too.
A number of these students I do.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
I get the feeling that you're more than a mentor.
Well, you know, a lot do end up in the Portland area, and sometimes it's useful after a year or 2 years, or just periodically when we can, to get together with a group of few people. It's really good for networking. I mean, the savvy students know it's not just about maybe having a beer with me or something. It's more about reaching out to the other students that I keep in touch with and having an opportunity for networking and finding out where everyone's at and what they've been doing and who's might be hiring. And so it really is teaching is a profession that certainly extends beyond the boundaries of the campus walls.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we're fortunate to have you.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah. Thank you for coming on and explaining this.
Yeah, of course.
This is going to be just really fabulous.
I look forward to it too. We'll see what happens.
Okay. Thanks. We'll be right back. This is Kathleen Mason. She's the executive director at Monmouth Independence Chamber of Commerce. You've seen her face before. Welcome, Kathleen.
All over the place.
You've been with the chamber since July.
July. Mm-hmm.
And you've accomplished quite a bit.
Oh, my gosh.
Would you say your job is kind of being a bridge and helping?
That's the chamber's job, is to be a bridge and part of the community glue. So
and you're doing an awesome job at it.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. So when I looked at LinkedIn, you had several descriptors that fit what you do in your job. You're a fundraiser, membership development, marketing, small board mentoring, and coach. You're all those and more.
Yes.
Yes,
I am.
Good. So every organization that I know of starts the year off with a goal setting. And tell us what your goal
Well,
was.
we had a board retreat under the leadership of our new board president, Dan Cruz, who heads up some credit unions down in Corvallis and in Albany, Central Willamette Valley Credit Union. And anyway, he looked at all of us and we threw out a whole bunch of different ideas and everything. And he says, you know, guys, we should be doing just one thing right this year. And if we do the one thing right, we can say that we've met our goals, our individual goals, and that also we've served our membership. So what we're striving to do this year under Dan's leadership is to make sure that every single member, no matter what their level, are taking full advantage of all of their membership benefits. And for every member, everyone gets a web page within the chamber website. They can put things, flyers and things in the office, and which also serves as the visitor center for this area. And then the list goes up from there. There's just a lot of ways that small businesses and medium-sized businesses can take advantage. If they need to find a new employee, they can post it online. If they want to post an event, they post it online. And of course, because we have special affinities, a special relationship with Monmouth Business Association and with Independence Downtown Association. This year especially, we're trying to make sure we do everything we can to move out their menu of events, because the events that both cities have are just so awesome. So that's what some of the things that we're striving to do, and we're making inroads. I think the membership, by and large, are becoming very impressed with the fact that we've taken this proactive stance, because it does show, above all else, that we're there for customer service and we're there for business success. So we want more businesses to come in, and when you look at our morning mixers, like for instance, we're going to have a chamber morning mixer at MyNet this upcoming Wednesday from 8:30 to 9:30. The attendance keeps increasing, and and then we have Thirsty Thursdays. That's the third Thursday of every month. We're going to have that at Hayden Homes. So we're hoping for a large group, because people love their little bit of wine or their coffee or some appetizers at the end of a long work day. And so we have a lot of these things going on, and we're just trying to show value to membership, because every dollar a business earns is very, very precious to them, and they want to utilize it as well as strengthen their bottom line.
So part of the Chamber of Commerce, you're also the visitor center.
Yes.
What percentage would you say? Is it 50-50, 20-80?
I think it depends on the time of year, actually, because we're kind of off-season. When I came on board in July, we did have a lot of foot traffic. We had bicyclists, which I found interesting, because that made me aware that there's this big bike path that extends from Monmouth and all the way into, I believe, Dallas, and it's a beautiful bike path. So we had people there. We had senior citizens. We had young families looking to relocate, and so I think it just depends on the time of year. I do get phone calls in, but when people come in, we have so much material available, magazine type directories and things like that, and information about Monmouth that we just want to disseminate to the public. But it's a great place to be. It's a wonderful place to come into work every day.
Good. Well, now, Deborah, our producer, will probably at some point put up the existing logo for the chamber.
Yes.
And it shows a wagon wheel and a quill, which is somewhat dated.
Okay.
And what I think is brilliant, you are such a dynamo. You've been working with Jen Bracy here at the university.
Oh my gosh.
And you're coming up with a new logo, a new brochure.
Oh yes, we have to give all credit to Jen, though, and her students. The board is open to whatever Jen and her students are going to produce for us. It's amazing to see the process that goes on, the thinking that goes into developing a logo. This morning I was at the Monmouth Business Association morning meeting, and we were talking about businesses reaching out more to WU for just this type of partnership, where it's let fresh eyes look at what you have and kind of rethink it. And what I find very, very funny, Susan, is when I came on board and I saw the current symbol, and it has its historic roots, but more than one person thought that feather, they did not recognize it as a quill.
I didn't.
And in the very old days, of course, the quill was associated with learning and with the higher institutions. And so now people don't recognize that. So you have to continually refresh your logo to make it relevant and recognizable. Otherwise, it's just not going to gain traction, and people aren't going to remember it. So Jen, hopefully, and her students are leading the way. So we're very grateful to her and her class.
It's kind of indicative of what you're trying to get us all. Some you're dragging, kicking, and screaming. Some are ready to go and into the future. I just love the four concepts they'll be looking at: heritage, landmarks.
Right.
Oh,
you went
outdoors.
to class. Yeah, outdoors. Thinking about what we are now. We're in the heart of the Willamette Valley wine country. We were told this morning that the wine industry is the fastest growing industry in Oregon. I don't know if people know some of the 100 best wines in the whole world come from Oregon, specifically Polk County. It's just absolutely incredible, whether you're a wine drinker or aficionado or not, or a connoisseur. The mere fact that Oregon is just making inroads and making itself known and just creating buzz around the world about us as a tourist location is just absolutely fabulous. So anyway, it's wonderful.
True. We have a couple of upcoming events I want to be sure to touch on.
Oh, okay.
Tell us the date and time of the State of the Cities.
Oh, State of the Cities. This is an annual event. It is going to be on February 13th from 12 noon to approximately 1:30. It will be hosted by Mayor Cease Kuntz of Monmouth and Mayor John McArdle of Independence. They will be making presentations about the current state of every city and forward thinking, what they're going to be doing in each of these dynamic cities that we live, work, and play in. So it's really going to be wonderful. It is going to be taped and it will be put on view on, I think, through MyNet. And then we will also provide a link on our Facebook page so people can catch up. It evidently is very well attended, and it's going to be at the Independent Cinema.
Right.
And so that's a nice, comfortable place. And it's
free popcorn.
I was going to say, the general manager assured me that again this year there would be free popcorn, but you better buy a drink. So
that's okay.
Yeah.
And the other big thing that comes up, I think it's in March, though, isn't it?
And on March,
this is an annual event I look forward to.
This is this year on March 13th. The Chamber is hosting the 55th annual, if you can believe it, Community Awards Banquet. The theme this year is Once Upon a Time in My Town, which is a play on Monmouth's dash independence. And what we're doing is we're going to be celebrating and recognizing businesses that are popular here in our two cities, and also the wonderful, wonderful people. It's the people that make cities wonderful. And I have had the honor of meeting a number of people, you included, who helped to make Monmouth and Independence a wonderful place to live, work, and play. So we're going to be honoring these people. This year, the tickets are $55, kind of a play on our 55th anniversary. However, we want everyone to know that $5 from the purchase of every ticket, and there will be almost 250 tickets sold, so do the math, will go into a pot. And the night of the awards banquet, we will be selecting one of our member nonprofits to receive over $1,000.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Oh.
And so that is something new we've included. We figure it will be another way to show our good stewardship of the community and to recognize, frankly, all of the nonprofits that really do so much and show so much of the heart and soul of these two towns.
What a fabulous idea.
Yeah.
That's good.
Great. It is.
Oh, that's very exciting.
Oh.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, so one of the goal settings that I attended last month was with Monmouth Business Association, and our next guest, Miriam, is leading that effort. And she asked us to come up with buzzwords for the missions, not the mission statement, the vision statement. And so I decided, I think I need a buzzword for each of the guests today. Your buzzword is dynamic.
Yes, it is.
And the definition for dynamic is constant change,
Yes.
moving forward, progress, active.
Are you putting me on the spot
I think
here?
this is you. Okay. So that's your buzzword. You are dynamic.
You have to, I think, especially businesses. I've had businesses before, so I'm not speaking out of turn, I don't think. And you recognize immediately when you're in a community, you should take the read of your community, the read of your customer base, the read of your fellow businesses, and go, okay, first of all, I'm here to make money. I'm here to strengthen my bottom line. This is not a hobby business, and I am also going to be gainfully employing people, so that throws another layer of responsibility and community stewardship. So I think you have to think in those terms. You have to be open to ideas. You have to draw on resources like the Chamber, like Monmouth Business Association, who's working very, very hard to like bring in experts to kind of once a month give people, hey, you know, here's something about social media that was discussed this morning, which is everyone's like, oh my God, if I have to do one more post, I'm going to kill myself. And, you know, do I do Facebook? Do I do Instagram? Do I do, you know, do I tweet?
And how do I get this website started?
And then there's, you know, so there's a lot of different things. So all these, when you tap into these community resources, it's bound to make you stronger. It won't guarantee success, but it will absolutely help you grow your business and at least sustain your business for the first couple of very transitional years that every business goes through.
That's a good description. Well, I thank you, Kathleen.
You're very welcome.
I've enjoyed our chat.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. We're here with Miriam Haugen. Hi, Miriam.
Hi.
Now, Miriam is a co-owner of Haugen's Photo Gallery. That's with an I. And
Thank
she's
you
also,
for remembering that.
She's also with the Monmouth Business Association, the fearless leader. Yes.
Yeah.
Fearless, truly fearless. And what we just had a meeting this morning, and I know last month we had worked on goal setting and so forth. But tell us about your business. You've got a few things that are happening.
Okay. So there's the biggie this year, our big goal for this year is that we're going to be moving the studio. I don't know if it's going to actually happen in this calendar year. It depends on how quickly things go. But we bought, 15, 20 years ago, we bought property out on Hoffman Road and right next to Barbara Story's Rum Cakes for the local people.
I know that one.
And so we are going to be relocating our studio to Hoffman Road. And so that's a big project. We have to remodel a building that's there and make it pretty and a good space for that.
Good.
But
we had a family portrait done with my mother when she turned 90 in Napa in California, and the photographer, it was at his home, and it was a farm, and it's much nicer, I think, sometimes than, you know, going into a setting that's all set up. I must say, too, that 2 years ago, we had a photo shoot with you and our children and grandchildren, and I had meant to bring a picture. It's called 5 Little Monkeys.
right.
It was a series of 5 pictures, and it starts out all the kids, they were 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And you said, hold up your hands, tell us how old you are. First picture's great. They're all holding their hands up with the right numbers. Second time, how old are you? And they're all going, I don't know. And then the third picture, they're getting up and trying to get out of here. And the fourth, it's just this progressive degeneration. It fit the bill. It was so descriptive of them because they are out of control.
It was very fun.
It was fun.
I was just desperate trying to get them to be engaged and not scattering.
Oh, it's funny. So you would say that the majority of your work, do you do family portraits?
Oh, we do. Well, okay. We do families, we do children, we do high school seniors. And that's been our bread and butter for like forever. We've been in business for over 40 years.
Oh my.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So but we have a couple of newer things. We've been doing, as I've talked to you many times about, the Santa experience is just so fun. But it's kind of out of season right now, so I won't talk too much about that, but it is amazing. They get to have milk and cookies with Santa. They find their names in the nice book. I am really into Christmas, getting into Christmas more and more. I just watched a Christmas movie last night, by the way, even though it's February. Still on. Well, I got it from Netflix. So anyway, so there's that. But we also, personal brand photography is something that I have, I'm very passionate about helping entrepreneurs to succeed. And in this day of social media, you need a ton of images of yourself. A lot of people aren't thinking about that. I don't want to show me. I want show my food or show what I sell, but don't show me. But people want to do business with people that they know, like, and trust. And how do you, so you put your own face, your own self out there, and people feel that they have a connection with you. So in social media, people that are active in social media need a lot of images.
That's
and
interesting.
that communicate their brand.
Yeah.
And in fact, something that I've just started is that the first Thursday of every month, you can do a profile palooza. I'm going to call it Profile Palooza, but you have to make an appointment. But we'll do a headshot, basically, with a little bit of personality to it, and for $99. And so we're going to start implementing that. And that is
brilliant.
Yeah. So,
really.
So you could every month come in and do it, or just, I find personally, when I put a new profile picture up on social media,
you get a lot of
that gets more than anything else. And so
there you go.
That's important.
Do you see using this for the MBA offering? Come on in.
I hadn't
new
necessarily
website
thought
coming
about
up.
There you go.
I see. This is gonna take off.
Yeah,
it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Let's go back to MBA, if that's okay.
Yes.
We had been at that meeting trying to establish buzzwords that would help to create a vision statement. And some of those buzzwords were exciting, thriving. Can you think of some of the other ones? I actually
didn't bring my piece of paper here.
Vitality.
Yes.
Cultural attractions, hopes, dreams, goals, aspirations. Anyway,
and we wanted to. One of the words was that we had threw around was quaint, and some people thought, "Oh, that's old and stodgy." And I'm going, "Well, I think I want to go to a place that's quaint."
We can be quaint. Quaint.
Safe is another word that's come
surprisingly,
up. That people. This is a place that is really safe. That's one of the things I loved about raising my children here is that, I could send them on their bicycles anywhere in town, and I knew they were going to be okay. And I've got some cute stories about that, but I won't get into that. But about where, one time my little boy got lost when he was like 6 years old, and he wasn't super lost, but he was a little bit lost, and somebody saw him and knew who he was and brought him to me.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
So
yeah, that's the kind of community that it's nice to be a part of.
Yeah,
that's wonderful. Well, I see that we're growing, and that's so you can still be safe and just a little bit bigger.
Right,
too.
and we're in the heart of wine country, and that is something that that we want to be promoting. The bicycle tourism is big, the wine is huge, and we're just a delightful place to come and visit and partake of those things.
So, what are some upcoming events? What is MBA known for, and what's coming up fairly soon?
Oh, okay. Well, we are the sponsors for Music in the Park, and if you haven't been to Music in the Park, you need to come. Wednesday nights during the summer, during July and August, it is really fun. We have a variety of music. It is, people get out and dance, they bring their picnic lunches, or they partake in the beer garden, and that is really, really a lot of fun.
Have they set the
and they do have
schedule?
the bands are lined up. I don't know that they're on the Facebook page yet.
Okay, they're not.
But there is a Music in the Park Facebook page, as well as a Monmouth Business Association Facebook page. So keep your eyes on those two pages, and you'll see the lineup. And there will be, usually as we get closer to the summer, there are posters around town. And there's sponsorship opportunities too.
Sure, get your name out there with the banner.
During those 2 months, the park is lined with with our with your business logos.
At the beginning of the school year, what do you?
Okay.
We love this about it at the university.
This is something that a lot of the community probably doesn't know about, but the MBA sponsors the new student feed. So that first week when the students are coming back into town, there's food for them, a barbecue basically. We tried to do it outside if the weather is permitting. And then businesses can have a table there, and they'll have little giveaways and just let the students know about their businesses.
Yeah, that's awesome. It was one of the great attractors when we first moved here. It made you feel immediately like part of the community. It was wonderful. Well, then comes
Spooktacular. Wow, this has just grown into the biggest party.
Crazy. It is very popular, and I think we have a lot of guests from out of town coming.
Oh, sure. Well, who wouldn't?
Why not?
It's great. So if you don't know, Spooktacular is the downtown trick-or-treating. It's always on the 31st. No, I think no matter what day of the week 31st falls on, we tried to do it. And from like 3:30 to 6:30, and she's putting up some pictures of of some of the winners of the costume contest.
There's the McNulty family. That's so cute. Yeah.
At the library, you can have your picture taken and enter that contest, and then you just go up and down the streets and get candy from participating businesses. But whole families are dressed in costume, and it's during daylight hours. I think that's one of the things that really is attractive to
it used to be
a lot of people.
At home, I would put the candy out about 3:30, thinking the kids will swing by on their way home from school. Oh no, they wait until Spooktacular's over and then they come. So I don't have to hurry home to get that all out and taken care of. So you have also been instrumental in the Making Spirits Bright. That's been very important, near and dear to my heart. But you're one of the 3 major sponsors, and that's been awesome.
That is just hoping that we can build Monmouth into more of a Christmas destination.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yes, actually, it's awesome. We were talking about buzzwords earlier. And Kathleen's was one thing, but I've been thinking about your buzzword. And I would call you encourager. Because I think you do encourage us to be more than we think we can be, and a comforter. And so I think that's something I very much appreciate about you. And
thank you.
What you do for us in the community.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Miriam. And we'll be right back. We're here with Kate Schwarzler, and I want to thank you for coming on. I know how busy you are. You just came from a class.
I did, yes.
You're also with IDA, which is Independence Downtown Association. But your business is going great, gangbusters.
Yeah, it is, thankfully.
And that's Indie Commons.
Yes.
So when I was looking at your LinkedIn site, you have a quote I love, and it describes you perfectly. Your biggest thrill is seeing an abstract idea become tangible.
Yeah.
And you do that daily.
Yes, thank you. Well, I appreciate that.
You're doing it with your students, because
Yes.
you're getting them to think outside the box, and you're doing it with your clientele, and you do it through these cool speakers that you have. So tell us
events.
about the new events.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Tell us about the one that's coming up this month. It's not a duplicate, but you've done it last year,
Yes.
and
Yes.
you're building on its success.
Yeah, super excited to bring back Fail Fest this year.
Yeah.
And it's all about this premise that you need to fail fast and fail forward because you're going to learn and innovate from those failures. And I think a lot of times we are concerned about failing at something because we associate it with being something bad or something wrong. And so we have a lineup of businesses that are going to be coming and talking about, oh yeah, you know, back in the day we made all these mistakes, we wish we hadn't. Here's what we learned from it though, and this is how it led us to where we are today. So
good.
That's February 27th at 6 p.m. at Indy Commons. It's a free event, and we had so much fun doing it last year and got such good feedback from the audience that we said we need to make this an annual event.
Yeah,
and
I think
bring
it's terrific.
speakers back. Yeah,
And I'm looking forward to it. You have some outstanding people coming to speak.
Yeah.
Who are they?
So far we have a gentleman by the name of Mark Hand. He is with a technology company, but he has built and sold several technology companies. So he has a great perspective of being more in that tech world and what that looks like. And then he has also helped other companies build and grow and expand. So he'll have kind of that tech perspective.
Yeah.
We also have Gilgamesh is going to be there talking about, you know, their startup story and how they got going and how they're expanding. And then locally we have Ryan Booth from Parallel 45. And similar thing, you know, he's much newer, they're much earlier in their venture. And then
So their failure may have been, you know, last Tuesday or something.
Exactly, yes, yeah. And so the guys from Gilgamesh were really funny. They're like, we fail every day. We have a lot to talk about, you know.
you probably experiment a lot.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and then, but
Yeah.
hopefully you don't make barrels and barrels and barrels
Yes.
of your failure.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
test it first.
Yeah, hopefully there's a testing process before that.
Yeah,
so.
I want to be in on that.
Yeah, and then we have a couple more speakers that we're talking to and trying to line up for that. And it'll be, if you think of more of a comedy club atmosphere to it, it's meant to be a fun, lively night and not kind of a depressing, you know, we just talk about failure, but really how that leads to innovation.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that's awesome. So, Indy Commons, who are your constituents right now? Who is in the building right
Who's
now?
in the building right now? You know, it's a great variety of people. It's a really nice community, and so it's really less about selling desk space than you're developing a community of entrepreneurs and solopreneurs that need a place to kind of come and work and get connected in with the community. So it's everything from professional services, consulting, lawyer, writing, editing, and also website design. We do have some nonprofits who are working out of there right now, and it gives them a really good avenue to work with people. And
other than being out of their home and saying, well, I'll meet you down at Ovenbird or something, you can say, this is a business-like setting.
Yeah, and so we're getting ready to kick off our events this year. We took a little break over the holidays, and so we had one on sort of promoting retail businesses last month. We have Fail Fest, and then watch the website. We'll be kicking off lots of events kind of throughout the year. So
Good.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about what's going on next door, or is that not quite ready to go yet?
Actually, it's super exciting. I just signed the lease yesterday.
Okay, I wasn't sure, and I had meant to ask you before we went on.
So signed the lease for the space next door. It's all part of the old Opera House where Skipper's used to be. Ted Baker, the person that owns the building, was doing a test. Talk about innovation and entrepreneurship.
Right.
He was looking at sort of an Airbnb model for commercial space and how to activate it in a short-term capacity to get people in there and see the space. But he is ready to close that out. So the opportunity came along to get the space, and the idea is to create a shared commercial kitchen. And micro retail in a space to have pop-up restaurants, pop-up markets.
I know.
So for food entrepreneurs to really be able to try out their ideas and experiment and see what's possible.
Do you foresee maybe food trucks who are trying to transition into a restaurant
Exactly.
maybe using it?
Yep.
Or people who are just starting cold turkey? I have a great chocolate chip recipe, or, you know.
There's a wide variety, but food trucks are a great target market for us. And it could be we tested our product out at a Saturday market, then we moved to a food truck, and now we're getting a following. Do we have enough to open up a retail or a brick and mortar? We have chefs in the community who want a commercial kitchen to work out of, to do their prep and do everything. They're not necessarily selling to the public. So they would be a user of the space.
Good.
Somebody that wants to, I have my famous chocolate chip cookie recipe and I want to start selling it and marketing it.
Right.
If you don't have a commercial kitchen that's licensed to work out of, you're limited on what you can sell to the public sometimes.
Oh, see,
Yeah.
there you go. So actually, the school I went to, Chico State in California, Mrs. Fields was a classmate. I think she was a couple of years younger.
Yeah.
But that's one of those endeavors that started through a SBDC, Small Business Development Center, which in this state are run out of the community colleges.
Yes.
But it sounds like, in a way, you're providing that service.
We are
in our region.
And actually, now that you mention it, I became an SBDC advisor to be able to help pull that service out more to Polk County. So I'm working with the Shemeketa Center in terms of how we can bring some of that programming. They have some great programs, some great tools and resources for people.
Yeah.
And not that Salem is all that far away, but it's nice to have something here locally in our community that we can serve people from.
And I just love that it's all going forward in this terrific way. I don't see any backsliding at all. In that, I mean, independence and the directions it's going, you know, you've got so many businesses going, and how many of them do you think are owned by women? There's a large majority, maybe.
There is a large majority, and this came up, Molly Mayhead did a session on Women Who Rock, and her first one was on women business owners, and so there were several of us from Independence that joined, and we started thinking about independence downtown, and it was like, that's Yep. And so there is a high percentage of business owners that are women. And I meant to look up the statistic of what that looks like, but we are definitely above the average on
imagine.
that. Yeah. And so it's exciting to see kind of how we can support each other. And I think we should be proud of that, because owning a business is difficult under any circumstances.
Right.
And then it's great to see that energy that is coming from that.
I saw a Facebook post that I copied and reposted. It says something like, a woman doing the same thing you're doing is not your competitor. She's your sister. You encourage her. And so I thought that's a really good perspective. And so I see you as being that mentor and encourager too.
Yeah.
So.
And I think we do have a lot of businesses on Main Street that we are focusing on that collaboration piece and rising tides lift all boats mentality of if your business is doing well, it means somebody else's business is likely going to be doing well also. And how do we share and how do we collaborate with each other, which I think there's some great examples of downtown businesses doing that.
So with Ida, do you have any upcoming events you want to talk about?
Right now, we have the Walk of Hearts, and so the remaining hearts are going to go up by this weekend, and so that's a really fun event at the start of the year when it's still kind of dreary outside, although I think Sunday's going to be sunny, so a good day to go out and look at the hearts, and it's just a fun way to liven up downtown. It's a great fundraiser for us as well, because a lot of people don't realize that the Downtown Association actually buys the flower baskets for downtown.
Okay,
I think a
and
lot of
so
people,
are the hearts going, the purchase of the hearts going towards the flower baskets? I wondered who was benefiting from that.
So we always tell people you get to brighten downtown twice. You know, the hearts come up in February, and then usually in May around Mother's Day, the flower baskets start going up, and so it's a great way to really provide some beautification of downtown.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's good. And then I'm trying, there is a history hunt at the Heritage Museum. I think that's fun. Celebrating Independence Birthday?
The birthday of Independence, and that is put on by the Heritage Museum and I think also the Friends of. They have done it for the last couple years, and it's been a great way to get the community involved. Typically how it's happened is they put some photos and clues up in the building windows, so businesses say by all means, put some information up, and then community can go around and they basically, I think last year it was a crossword puzzle. So with the clues that you're getting, you fill it in, and then they have a birthday party and cake, and you can win prizes. And
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's good. It builds community.
it does.
And awareness.
Yep. And
So
it's
that's
great
good.
that the museum is moving downtown, so we're super excited about that. I think it's really going to increase the visibility and highlight the importance of our history downtown.
Do you know when that is supposed to happen?
I don't know for sure.
Has that building become vacant to your knowledge? Or
Yes,
is it it is vacant now.
the building has been purchased, it's vacant, it's gone through some first phases of some work being done on it, and now I think they're going to start working with an architect and looking at how to, design it and build it out.
Good,
Yeah, it's
good.
exciting.
Yeah, I see great things happening.
Yeah.
Oh, I did want to touch on one more thing, the new hotel.
Yes.
As a result of that, so much is happening now. What is coming to town this month that was unique, that we had never been able to host before? Okay, I'm going to give you a hint because we talked about it last week. The mayors have some kind of a meeting.
Yes.
No? Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
it wasn't you who reported it, so I was trying to help me out here. There were three things that were awesome that were coming to town that had never, League of Oregon Cities.
Yes, League of Oregon Cities.
And then the Mayor's Summit and one other thing that was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So.
And that has been a huge impact for the community that I think, like we just demonstrated, you don't always know, like, oh, the League of Oregon Cities, they're having a meeting at the hotel, but that brings visitors to town, that gives the hotel business. They don't eat at the hotel for every meal, so they come up and they go to Ovenbird, they go to Valkyrie, they maybe buy a few souvenirs around town. So it's really great for our local businesses to have that option.
I think only good things happening as a result.
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kate.
Yes.
I'm so glad you came on.
Well, thank you.
We'll be right back. Weren't they terrific guests today? I so enjoyed learning more about Monmouth, Independence, the Chamber of Commerce, the university, all the things we do here that make it such a special place to live. You can find our show at the YouTube Winnipeg channel, our Easy Video channel 21 on MyNet, and then Polk Salad, A Bounty of Conversation, our Facebook page. Until next month, we'll see you around town.